Well, hello there. How you doing? You're listening to Reverend Floyd, and I'm back with another presentation for my college class. And what we're here to do is we're here to talk about the grass, and it isn't greener on the other side. Are you sure it isn't greener on the other side? Have you ever thought about that? I know I have. See, I'm sure day after day on your 9 to 5 grind, you come home, you sit down on that porch with your iced tea, and you look across the street and you see that big black truck pulling off into that driveway with that Harley, and they're sitting there, and he's got money in his pocket, and you sitting there, and you going, man, I wish I was that dude right there. And then you let it all out. Man, the grass is greener on the other side of the street. But I got something to tell you, it isn't greener on the other side. You know, I've been across that street and I've asked that man, his name is Vince Aragon, and he lives across the street. And he told me, he said, the grass isn't greener across the street. He said, we have the same bills that you do. He says, we have the same issues that you do. He says, we make the same mistakes that you do. He says, nothing is all that much different on this side of the street that is on that side of the street. It's interesting enough that they have to pay bills just like you do. So, how do they do it? They go to work. They have to work just like you do. So, they go to work. So, the man across the street, what does he do? He's a floor man. The guy does floors. He's a floor specialist. He puts in your carpet, he puts in your tile, he puts in your linoleum, he puts in anything that has to do with flooring. He's a floor specialist. Okay? But he don't work for somebody else, he works for himself. So he owns his own business. So with that being the case, he has to pay more bills than you do. While you go to work and collect a check, he goes to work and has to pay for he has to pay for uh, the carpet and the flooring and the materials, and he has to pay for tools that break, and he has to pay for you know, the different types of tools like the the grinding pads and the wheels and the stuff to cut the tile and everything like that. So, you know, he has expenses that he has to pay for. So, you know, he's got more bills to pay than you do. You know, uh, with more bills comes responsibilities, you know, and it's not just in the business, but in the home as well. With more responsibilities, you end up with more problems. You always have more problems with more responsibilities. However, those problems are no different than yours are. Why do I say that? Well, let me check my notes and let me see here. Oh, the man has the same problems as you do. The man across the street has 7 vehicles. How many do you got? Probably one, maybe two. He's got 7. Okay. And the interesting thing about his 7 is 3 of them are work vehicles. Okay? 3 of them are usually breaking down. So he's constantly shelling money out to fix the 3 because they're constantly on the road. They're constantly causing him issues. So he's spending money on them. Why he doesn't buy new ones or better ones, and so he doesn't have the issues that he has to spend, I don't know, but there it is. The man across the street uh, has a house that needs maintenance like you do. You know, you have plumbing problems that you got to fix, right? He's got a house that has plumbing problems that has to be fixed too. You got a house that needs a roofing that needs leaks fixed. Well, so does he. You got a yard with a garden and everything like that. So does he. He fixes the house. His wife does the yard and the garden. Well, do you and your wife split the house and the yard and the garden, or is it a mismatch or what? I do everything and I enjoy it. So which brings us all down to one little nitty gritty thing. Does the man have the same faith as you? Well, the man across the street believes that drinking the beer isn't going to send him to hell. The man across the street believes that smoking a cigarette isn't going to send him to hell. The man across the street believes that Jesus Christ died on the cross for his sins. The man across the street has asked Jesus Christ into his heart. He believes that his name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. With all of that being said, I can say without a doubt that the grass isn't greener across the street. Since this is such a short presentation, I can't go into everything that I'd like to go into. But the same things go on that side of the street that go on this side of the street. So as you can see, life across the street isn't any greener than your side of the street. They work like you do. They have the same problems as you do. They serve the same God as you do. God has a perfect plan for you. Seek his face, and all of his riches will become your blessings, filled up and running over. Pat Carroll said it best. Any way you look at it, this isn't a black and white issue. And forget the one size fits all. What works well for one person may be disastrous for another person. That's why God made different perfect plans for each and every person that lives on the face of the earth. And with that, my friend, it's time for me to go. May God bless you in all your ways. And God loves you. Adios.